I love when they try to give Trump a softball and he's like, I'm not gonna hit it. He does this with Hannity. I mean, you wouldn't be a dictator, right? Well, I'd be a dictator on day one. I told Hannity, you're sitting right next to him, I'm gonna be a dictator on day one. I just told him that, right? And now Laura Ingraham's like.
Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian reacted to a section of Laura Ingraham's interview with Donald Trump. And it seemed like Laura Ingraham tried to practically feed Donald Trump the correct things to say, but he just couldn't or wouldn't catch on. Of course, the Young Turks had some insight on the interview, so I wanted to share these clips with you guys and give my thoughts every now and then. Let's check it out.
How will you restore faith in our justice system? A lot of people will say, well, he's just going to do to them what they did to him and get back at them. And
a lot of people say that's what should happen.
Well,
you want to know the truth.
Right. Well, but I think, how do you like me now?
I love when they try to give Trump a softball and he's like, I'm not gonna hit it. He does this with Hannity. I mean, you wouldn't be a dictator, right? Well, I'd be a dictator on day one. I told Hannity, you're sitting right next to him, I'm gonna be a dictator on day one. I just told him that, right? And now Laura Ingraham's like, but you're not going to strike back against your political opponents and arrest them for no reason, right? And he's like, well, I'll tell you what, some people think we should. And the crowd starts to get crazy. So, well, look, let's be fair. There's a second half to this answer. Maybe he turns it around and goes, oh no, of course not. Or does he get egged on by the crowd? Let's watch.
Punitively using government institutions is what got us in this mess in the first place. And our town hall that we did back in February, one of the lines that really resonated, I think, with people is when you said, my revenge is going to be my success.
Yeah, well, I do believe that, but I will say this, they have started a terrible precedent. We've never had this. We do have that in third world countries, banana republics, a lot in South America where they go after somebody politically that's an opponent. We never had it to any great extent, really almost at all.
But you're not going to do that. When you get in office, you're going to look at all your political enemies.
No, I want to make this the most successful country in the world. That's what I want to do.
But really, please say you're not gonna do that. I gave you the correct answer that you gave last time. Instead of asking you a question, I actually gave you the answer. All you have to do, knucklehead, is say yes. We're trying to do propaganda here. A lot of undecided voters are spooked out by you constantly going, I'm gonna be a dictator, oh, I'm gonna get them, oh, I'm gonna arrest them. So can you just say here so that we can all pretend you're not going to do it? Hey, of course I wouldn't arrest my political opponents for no reason. Easiest answer in the world. He just can't spit it out. So now you know, but okay, you could pretend you don't know. But you know what? That's what people have been doing for this entire time. That's why we started playing Trump brackets. 64 the worst things he's ever done. Yes.
Yeah. So look, the notion of going after your political opponents prosecutorially would make sense if you know your political opponents have done things that break the law. And by the way, that's certainly possible. Like, we know how dirty politicians are. So is it unheard of for Democratic politicians to have some skeletons in their closets? Not unheard of. In fact, there are all sorts of Democratic politicians on a local level right now who are being investigated by the FBI, who are facing very serious indictments in regard to corruption schemes. You know, you guys get the picture. But like, the idea of Trump being able to just prosecute any Democrat, even though they haven't committed a crime, is ridiculous. Like,
I completely agree with Anna Kasparian here. When it comes to Donald Trump, the whole thing isn't a case of going after a political enemy for no reason. They're going after a person who has committed all of these crimes and has been found guilty of them. His case is a special one because we don't tend to have presidents committing crimes and being prosecuted for them over and over. It's interesting that the Fox News hosts try to set up softball questions and he just misses the mark.
So we still have a justice system in this country.
Such as it is. I mean, that's why I'm worried about Trump. Look, guys, we often say on the show, criticize Democrats and Republicans. And so, and I criticize Democrats for not doing nuance sometimes and going, no, you got to go strictly party line. You can't veer from the party line. But for Republicans, like, guys, you got to at least understand simple concepts like, yeah, if someone broke the law and they happen to be your political opponent, we're not going to stop you. For example, we're not going to complain about it. Like, let's say that Trump was president instead of Biden, and his Justice Department went after Senator Bob Menendez, who's a Democrat from New Jersey. I would give them a standing ovation. I wouldn't be like,
I'd have to agree with Cenk Uygur here because it does seem like, regardless of the end goal or the fact that we all are Americans at the end of the day, the Republicans will always see Democrats as inherent opposition and think that their people can do no wrong, and vice versa. When it comes to crime, regardless of the political leanings, the law should be upheld, and I think it's super disingenuous for either party to cry about a witch hunt.
To me, it shouldn't matter what letter is next to their name, D or R or whatever else. Prosecute them. But MAGA can't see that. They think it's only the Democrats having any type of wrongdoing or committing any crimes or anything. And of course, in their mind, Trump is innocent of everything and everything is a witch hunt because that's what their God King has told them.
Like, oh my God, it's a Democrat deep state. Trump's trying to politically. No, the guy's corrupt. He's got gold bullion coming out of his jacket pockets and falling out all over his closet and stuff, right? You want to go after Eric Adams or Cuellar down in Texas, etc., for bribes they might have taken from foreign governments. Have at it, Hoss. We're not telling you don't do that. And when Democrats didn't prosecute Trump in the beginning, why do you think they didn't prosecute him in the beginning? Because they're like, oh, the elites never prosecute the elites, right? Because they're worried that it might turn on them. But if you say, hey, let's prosecute someone, whether they did something or not, oh, they did it to us, is not a real thing. That's just you being spiteful. And yes, undermining democracy when you go, let's just arrest someone because we don't like them politically, and we think they did it to us. That's not a thing you could prove in court. No, you did it to us is not evidence you could present in a court of law. Come on, guys, do better, be better than this.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, both sides have issues with that, and especially the Republicans. Keep it real.
Okay, in the interest of saving time, go
All
ahead.
right, so we'll get back to, okay. So to do Trump rackets, we're down to the Sweet 16. These are all bad, and we need your help in the votes as much as.
Theatrics and passion aside, what I respect the most about Cenk Uygur is that he is consistently preaching about fairness. If a Democrat were to be doing something wrong, he believes that they should be prosecuted for it the same way a Republican should. And I personally don't think it's an unreasonable take or something that should be controversial. There is so much whataboutism when it comes to Donald Trump, how he is portrayed in the media, and how his own actions are brought to light. But the arguments always seem so half-hearted and dismissive that I can't take them seriously. The right-wing stooges and politicians like Laura Ingraham and Nikki Haley try to give Donald Trump these layup questions and fail to see that the man just can't be reined in. His rise in general was due to him speaking his mind or playing to his crowd, so I think the time for softball interviews has long passed. But I'll get off of my soapbox here. What do you think about the video? Do you agree with Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian's thoughts on the topic here? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next video, so take care.